Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. President Bola Tinubu swears in Taiwo Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance, expressing strong confidence in his capacity to make meaningful contributions to the nation's economy. All is now set for President Bola Tinubu and his wife Oluremi as they depart for London on Tuesday to commence a 2-day state visit to the United Kingdom. Federal High Court Abuja threatens to commit Omoyele Showore's lawyer for contempt of court over alleged misconduct and rudeness during proceedings. And US President Donald Trump expresses dissatisfaction with the United Kingdom following remarks by Prime Minister Keir Starmer that Britain will not be drawn into a wider conflict with Iran.
And on business, Nigeria's inflation rate slows for the 11th consecutive month, dropping to 15.06% in February.
On sports news tonight, Chelsea hits with the biggest financial sanction in Premier League history, alongside a 1-year suspended transfer ban following findings of breaches of league regulations.
And from the nation's capital, multiple explosions rock Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, causing panic among residents of the city.
President Bola Tinubu has acknowledged the challenging economic realities confronting the country, but wants the Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, to continue to deploy his expertise as he joins the presidential cabinet. These were part of the president's remarks after the minister was sworn in during a brief ceremony that took place in the office of the president and was witnessed by senior government officials, the minister's wife, and his state governor, Mr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State. The president praised Mr. Oyedele's commitment and determination as he commended his role in shaping Nigeria's tax policy.
Thank you for accepting to serve your country, your motherland. You have written the entire tax policy of this country, that it was obsolete, archaic, and fundamentally against every progressive thinker. You are just a very dedicated and highly determined individual. It didn't take much for me to decide where you fit and where you need to be to further help the country. It is a very challenging job to look at the fiscal policy and responsibility that comes with it at the time that economic stability is being experienced, but without exponential growth, it is always very difficult. But you feed the bill.
Speaking shortly after the swearing-in ceremony, the Minister of State for Finance outlined his vision for Nigeria's fiscal and economic priorities to strengthen the nation's financial stability. Mr. Oyedele expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for the opportunity to serve once again. He also pledged unwavering commitment, promising to give both the president and the people his very best.
To the Federal Republic. The priorities are the priorities of the government, the priorities for our country, because the Ministry of Finance will not operate in isolation. And those issues are mostly around revenue mobilization, so you can have enough revenue to meet the increasing demands of the public on the treasury, both at the federal level as well as subnational. And then there's also the issue around spending efficiency and priority. Because for every £1 that we earn, how can we optimize the value we get from it to meet the needs of our people? And of course, issues around debt management and fiscal sustainability is also important. Now, how all of these connect effectively and link up to other policies of government, from monetary policy to trade and other policies as well, across subnational, and also within the context of the international community, because we don't live in isolation and we know what's happening now with geopolitics and crisis, is actually about how do you think proactively and say, how do we position Nigeria to best manage challenges and headwinds while optimizing the values and the opportunities that are there both within Nigeria and globally for our country.
Let's talk politics now. The renewed hope ambassadors in the diaspora are pledging to continue amplifying President Bola Tinubu's programs ahead of a state visit to the United Kingdom later this week. A part of preparations for the visit is the unveiling of a temporary secretariat for the Renewed Hope Global, designed as a coordination hub for diaspora support groups. The initiative is designed to streamline diaspora engagement, planning and mobilization as preparations for the president's visit accelerates.
Leaders of several Nigerian support organizations across the United Kingdom and Europe gather in London for the unveiling of the temporary secretariat for the Renewed Hope Global in London, in the United Kingdom.
This is a testament to the good work.
The unveiling of the secretariat is part of activities to mobilize support for President Bola Tinubu during his state visits to the United Kingdom. The secretariat will coordinate all activities of the president's support groups.
We're here at the secretariat, that's the temporary secretariat for the visit of President Bola Tinubu and the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON. We're glad we have lots of support leaders that are here today. They've actually been strategizing, they love what's going to happen, and we're really planning for it to ensure that the visit is successful.
The organization inaugurated and swore in several committees tasked with coordinating logistics, outreach and stakeholder engagements for the visits.
Once again, welcome to the Renewed Hope Global State Visit Secretariat.
The participants were given a comprehensive operational briefing outlining the strategy for diaspora participation during the state visits.
We have come a long way in the country, and this is a testament to the good work that the current administration has been doing.
For Nigerians in the diaspora, the opening of the Renewed Hope Global Secretariat represents more than logistics. It reflects a growing effort to engage the global Nigerian community in moments of national significance.
We're here live at the Secretariat, right here in London, where they are putting together teams for mobilization and support to celebrate our president, President Bola Tinubu, and his dear wife, as they come in on an official state visit. Everything, the various subcommittees have been inaugurated, and people have started getting to work. We expect it to be a pleasant outing, and wish everyone happy brainstorming and perfect executions to the plans.
Nigeria flag to say, on your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand.
Preparations are expected to continue in the coming days as London positions itself to host Nigeria's first family during the state visits.
Our Nigerians in the UK mobilized for President Tinubu's visit. The president and his wife, Senator Oluremi, will depart Abuja on Tuesday, March the 17th, for that state visit to the United Kingdom as guests of Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla. The high point of the visit by a Nigerian leader in 37 years will focus on high-level discussions aimed at strengthening bilateral relations between Nigeria and the UK, as well as boosting trade, investment and security cooperation between both countries. Our London Bureau Chief, Juliana Olayinka, reports from Buckingham Palace.
Well, in several buildings around Buckingham Palace, which is, of course, the traditional heart of Britain's monarchy, preparations are well underway for one of the most significant diplomatic moments between the UK and Nigeria in nearly 40 years. This week, as we all know, President Bola Tinubu will undertake a historic state visit to Britain, hosted by King Charles III. While state visits are traditionally associated with Buckingham Palace, this one will take place at Windsor Castle, where the King and Queen will formally welcome Mr. President and the First Lady. Now, it will be the first state visit by a Nigerian leader to the UK since 1989, and only the 5th time in history that a Nigerian president has received this highest level of diplomatic honour from the British Crown. There is also historic symbolism. King Charles himself represented Britain at President Olusegun Obasanjo's inauguration in 1999, when Nigeria returned to democracy after years of military rule. Now, more than 2 decades later, he will welcome President Tinubu, himself a key figure in Nigeria's pro-democracy movement, to Windsor. Now, the ceremonial centrepiece takes place on Wednesday morning, when the President and First Lady will receive a formal ceremonial welcome on Datchet Road in Windsor. King Charles and Queen Camilla will greet the Nigerian delegation before a royal salute is fired in Windsor and at the Tower of London. President Tinubu will then inspect the Guard of Honour, followed by a military parade, including the King's Troop, Royal Horse Artillery and the Sovereign's escort. Later, inside Windsor Castle, the President will hold a private audience with the King before attending a state banquet in the evening, where both leaders are expected to outline a renewed vision for UK-Nigeria relations. But beyond the pageantry lies the substance. Nigeria and the UK are seeking to deepen cooperation across trade, investment, security and the creative economy. Bilateral trade between the two countries currently stands at more than £8 billion annually, with both sides looking to expand partnerships in sectors including fintech, renewable energy, agriculture and manufacturing. The visit also comes at a time when Britain is strengthening economic partnerships beyond Europe, while Nigeria pursues major economic reforms aimed at attracting global investment. And with a Nigerian diaspora in the UK estimated at more than 500,000 people, the relationship remains one of the most dynamic bridges between Africa and Europe. So, while the ceremonial welcome will unfold in Windsor, the significance of the moment resonates here at Buckingham Palace, the historic centre of British royal diplomacy. Juliana Olayinka reporting for Channels Television News in London.
In part 2 after the break, Federal High Court in Abuja threatens to commit Omoyele Shore's lawyer for contempt over rudeness in court. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu swears in Taiwo Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance, expressing strong confidence in his capacity to make meaningful contribution to the nation's economy. All is now set for President Bola Tinubu and his wife Oluremi as they depart for London on Tuesday to commence a 2-day state visit to the United Kingdom. Federal High Court in Abuja threatens to commit Omoyele Showere's lawyer for contempt of court over alleged misconduct and rudeness during proceedings. And US President Donald Trump expresses dissatisfaction with the UK following remarks by Prime Minister Keir Starmer that Britain will not be drawn into a wider conflict with Iran. When the Federal High Court Abuja, where Justice Mohammed Umar has threatened to commit the lead defense lawyer to politician and online publisher Omoyele Sowore, Marshal Abubakar, for contempt over rudeness in court. For raising his voice in court, the judge ordered Mr. Showore's lawyer to come out and kneel down in open court. Other lawyers, however, quickly prevailed upon the judge to forgive their colleague. Mr. Showore is being prosecuted by the Department of State Services, the DSS, for allegedly making false claims against the person of President Bola Tinubu by referring to him as a criminal in a post he made on his X and Facebook accounts. The lawyer drew the ire of the judge when he raised his voice while making submissions in court, insisting that the date chosen by the court for the defense to open its case was not convenient for him. When asked by the judge when he planned to open his counsel's defense, Mr. Abubakar said the defendant would make a no-case submission and suggested that the court should adjourn till a date in July. Whilst Mr. Showore was addressing the judge from the witness box on how the proposed date might affect his party's upcoming primaries, his lawyer also simultaneously began addressing the judge, narrating how his client was poised to take power from President Tinubu. On the cross-examination, Mr. Abubakar cross-examined the sole prosecution witness, Cyril Nosike, a DSS official, for about 2 hours. And Mr. Abubakar also tendered copies of newspaper publications, some of which he later gave to the witness to read from. So let's now head to the nation's capital, and Millicent Walker is standing by to give us latest from our Abuja studios. Great to see you again, Millicent. Over to you.
Same here, Ayotunde. Many thanks. And we begin with worrying news from Borno State, where the police command has confirmed multiple explosions suspected to have been masterminded by Boko Haram ISWAP suicide bombers at various locations in the state capital, Maiduguri. Sources say dozens of residents were feared dead and injured. The confirmation was made by the police public relations officer, ASP Kenneth Dasso. According to him, preliminary reports reveal that the explosions happened at the post office area and the main entrance of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, and possibly one at Monday Market, but that is not still clear. He added that the number of casualties are still sketchy, as victims of the explosions have been taken to different hospitals within the state capital. Meanwhile, the governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, has condemned the explosions. The governor, in a statement by his special advisor on media, called for increased vigilance and what he called heightened security measures, particularly in places of worship, as the festive period beckons.
Again, Monday Market is
With security, wives and friends of the 5 engineers declared missing in Ebonyi have staged a peaceful protest at the Federal Ministry of Works, Abuja, demanding government action of the disappearance of their husbands and colleagues while supervising a road project in the southeast state. The families are calling on the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, who was governor of Ebonyi State at the time, to help facilitate a transparent investigation into the incident. Our correspondent Benny Ark has more.
Wives, family members and colleagues of 5 missing engineers gathered at the Federal Ministry of Works in Abuja, holding placards calling on the federal government to intervene in the disappearance of the engineers known as the Nelan 5.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
The engineers were declared missing on November 3, 2021, while supervising the African Development Bank-funded Abakaliki Ring Road project at Effium in Ohaku local government area of Ebonyi State. The protesters say their demonstration is aimed at drawing national attention to what they describe as years of silence and inconclusive investigations into the incident. They are calling on the federal government to reopen the case and provide clear information on the fate of the engineers.
Why we are here in the ministry is we believe that the former governor, Engineer David Umahi, when properly interrogated, can volunteer information, because as the chief security officer of the state as at that time, he knew every detail of what happened.
One of the wives of the missing engineers also addressed the protest, describing the emotional and economic burden the incident has placed on their families.
I am the wife of Engineer Samuel Chibike Aneke, who went to work. He left me at Adamawa on 30th of October to Enugu. On 3rd, they left for this work. He left me with 2 months and 2 weeks pregnancy. I've been like that up to now. I didn't see him coming back. I didn't see his corpse. Please, I am asking for justice. Please, they should release my husband wherever he is.
An official of the Ministry of Works who came out to address the protesters had this to say.
When they came, we addressed it that they should try as much as they can to resolve the issue as the state. Because this didn't happen when he was a minister, when he was a model, not a minister. So we are advising them that last time we noticed their grievances. We told them that we are going to inform the appropriate authority.
The protesters say they will continue to demand justice and clarity on the disappearance of the 5 engineers until government authorities provide answers on what happened to them. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
Right after that protest by wives and supporters of the missing engineers, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, responded through a statement issued by his Senior Special Assistant on Media, Francis Nwaze. In the statement, the minister described the incident as a painful tragedy that occurred on November the 3rd, 2021, at the height of the violent Effium and Eza-Effium communal conflict in Ebonyi State, noting that the engineers were among several victims of the crisis that claimed lives and destroyed property in the area. The statement also maintained that security agencies were immediately mobilized at the time, leading to the arrest of suspects who allegedly confessed to the crime, adding that the matter remains before the court, while the minister expressed sympathy with the families and reiterated his commitment to justice and rule of law. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has clarified the incident on the Kaduna-Abuja route train service. Speaking to Channels Television at the Idu train station, the managing director of the corporation, Mr. Kaide Okpeifa, disclosed that the rear locomotive collided with the next rear coach due to a coupling issue which delayed the service. According to him, the train service is not affected by the incident, which left several passengers injured near the Asham station. And there are no bandits in the nation's capital. That's coming from the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, who said this during an inspection tour of projects. The minister, who had ordered the demolition of a structure in Gusape district for violating the land policy of the capital city, also hinted of a possible revocation of the land, alleging that the developer is converting it from what was originally designated as a park. Our correspondent, Kumbi Aboluwade, has more.
Top officials from the Federal Capital Territory, led by the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, embark on an inspection tour of some ongoing road projects in the FCT. The first stop is an access road in Karsana district, and then the 7.2-kilometer dual carriageway linking Gwarimpa and Jahi districts. Other projects inspected include the highway from the airport road to Kuje and the ongoing construction of the Kuje-Gwaglada road. The FCT minister makes his final stop in Gusape district and explains the level of work on the projects.
The quality of work is something else, very amazing, and we give God the glory that at least we're opportunity to be part of this administration to see what really hope is all about. And then we are here now in the Gusape. This place was given as a green area, but for what we have seen now, they want to develop it to an estate, which is a violation. And this is the kind of things we have always complained about. So we have to demolish it. And we are also going to withdraw the whatever approval he has, because it was not given to him to develop estate. It was for green area.
He also weighs in on the security situation in the FCT, assuring that security operatives are working tirelessly to keep the nation's capital safe.
It will be difficult for anybody to say that in a city that you don't have one form of crime or the other. So there's nothing like the occurrence of banditry. There's no banditry in Abuja. I know that last time some people were kidnapped somewhere in Buhari, but they were all
rescued, and as I speak to you, some of them have been arrested. What's important is what measures, how serious the security agencies, taking this. As far as I'm concerned, they're really taking their work very, very seriously, and we need to give them the necessary support.
Mr. Wike further called on residents to support efforts of security operatives in the fight against insecurity in the territory. From Abuja, Kumbi Aboluade, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's inflation rate slows for the 11th consecutive month, dropping to 15.96% in February. That's coming up on Business News. Please join us again.
Welcome back. As part of activities to mark the 2026 World Oral Health Day with the theme A Happy Mouth is a Happy Life, Unilever Nigeria PLC, through its Pepsodent brand, has launched Do the Two Brush Day and Night campaign in Lagos. The event, which took place at the company's premises in Oregun, Ikeja, was held in the presence of members of the Nigeria Dental Association, representative of the Federal Ministry of Health, as well as the media.
This press conference is put together by Unilever Nigeria PLC to herald a nationwide campaign and spread the message of a healthy smile tagged Do the Two, Brush Day and Night, courtesy of Pepsodent. In his address, the president of Nigerian Dental Association, Dr. Emedome Elias, emphasizes the need for Nigerians to take their oral hygiene seriously.
Oral health is not only about healthy and clean teeth and gums, but they are also about how oral health affects our ability to perform the task of eating, speech, learn, work, and relate with others.
Our partnership with Unilever.
The head of dentistry, Federal Minister of Health, on her part, calls on the federal government and Unilever to work together to promote dental health across Nigeria.
With Unilever, we have been doing oral health programs, Pepsodent Brush Day and Night school programs. And with this collaboration, thousands of school children have been reached in many states across Nigeria.
According to the World Health Organization, Nigeria suffers from a severe shortage of dentists, with one dentist to 44,000 to 54,000 people. Stakeholders say this gap can only be filled through a combined effort between government and the private sector.
All these corporate organizations, they should collaborate with Federal Ministry of Health to reach out to people, to communities, to students on how to improve their oral health.
We are here today at the auspices of the Unilever. The World Oral Health Day is celebrated. They assist us in doing that. We also have a program called Talk to Dentist. That program is meant to assist us reach the unreached.
The company believes that this collaboration will continue to bring oral health to citizens through Pepsodent.
Last year alone, we were able to reach 2.7 million kids pan Nigeria with oral health awareness through our Brush Day and Night Schools program. So it's something that we're really proud of and that we want to continue.
Unilever Nigeria PLC says Pepsodent's Do the Two Brush Day and Night campaign will continue to emphasize the availability of quality oral health, which will bring brighter smiles and enable Nigerians live a healthier life across the country.
And Business News is up next with Will Ibong. Will.
Thank you, Ayotunde. Nigeria's official inflation rate eased further to 15.06% in February. That's down from 15.1% in January, marking the 11th consecutive month of disinflation, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Although slightly below the forecast by a financial derivatives company, that's the FDC, the figure aligns with earlier projections of a continued slowdown in price growth. Core inflation also eased from 17.72% to 15.88% and supported by a stable naira weather and high base effects. However, the food sub-index rose sharply to 12.12%, driven by early bulk buying ahead of the Ramadan fasting season. Urban inflation stood at 15.53%, while rural inflation dropped to 13.93%. Nigeria's capital market will move to a T+1 settlement cycle from May the 29th, 2026, meaning securities transactions will be completed one business day after the trade date instead of the current 2-day cycle. The Central Securities Clearing System, CSCS, says the reform is designed to speed up post-trade processes, allowing investors to receive funds and securities faster while reducing settlement risk. Under the transition plan, trades executed on May the 28th under the current T+2 system and those on May the 29th under the new T+1 cycle will both settle on June the 1st, 2026, marking the start of the faster settlement. And to the domestic equities market now, the NGX All-Share Index surged past the 200,000 points milestone for the very first time today. John McCoy has the details.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Report. It's a pleasant market close today in Nigeria because we saw 2 new record highs at the close of trade today. And it's because mostly of market mover MTN Nigeria, most attractive, but not the only attractive one to investors. So market mover MTN Nigeria opened at 779 naira 10 kobo, but gained 18 naira 90 kobo at the close of trade to close at 798 naira. So it's not the only pleasant news that we have today. Let's look at the sectors. Banking, for instance, gained more than 2%. Mostly the fugas drove that sentiment. Consumer goods gained also, but not the big story. Now, this is where the big story is. It's here. Industrial goods, 4.52%. And it's because investors did a lot of cherry picking on Dangote Cement and Boa Cement. Very attractive to investors, and did that. And at the close of trade, investors brought in almost 2 trillion naira into the Nigerian market. That's a lot of trust there. So the all-share is up 1.55%. And this opened at about 199,000, closing at 201,474.89. What a pleasant market we had today, and I'm sure that the bull is really happy about this.
Thank you, Ini. Let's hope the market stays happy. Let's see the closing numbers for other major global equities now. That's business news. I am Will Ibang. Is back to Ayotunde for more on the news at 10.
Many thanks, Will. Still to come on the news at 10, U.S. President Donald Trump expresses dissatisfaction with the United Kingdom following remarks by Prime Minister Keir Starmer that Britain will not be drawn into a wider conflict with Iran. That's an Around the World in 5. Please join us again.
We are a nation of passion and resilience. For almost 25 years, we have believed in our people, investing, innovating, and connecting millions. We build vital infrastructure and provide essential services like health centers and clean water that sustain communities. As the biggest supporter of Nigerian football and athletics, we are developing the next generation of champions. We are proud to be the first telco listed on the Nigerian exchange, owned and led by Nigerians, with nearly half our executive team being women. We are building the nation's most inclusive company, with over 6.7 trillion naira Nigeria in taxes paid and deep investments through the MTN Foundation, our numbers tell a story of purpose, partnership, and progress. We are MTN Nigeria, a proudly Nigerian company that will continue to be a force for good.
Confirmed. Thank you, ma.
Card don't finish, oh. Madam, we don't cast.
Not when I help Pompey. Finally.
With PayPay, your business never stops. Pay bills, send money for free, accept card payments, and earn up to 20% on your savings.
Boss lady.
PayPay, the smarter way to bank.
Oh. You feel that?
Feel what?
The crash zone.
Crash what?
The crash zone. It builds suspense, uncovers evidence, foreshadows danger. You feel it now?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'll go and try and find a ladder.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wherever life takes you, home is who you share iftar with. Ramadan Mubarak from Terra.
Dad, can I read my essay now?
After dinner, son.
It's all right. Let's have it, son.
Things I'm happy for. I'm happy that Mom smiles more now. I know she works hard and sometimes her back hurts. I don't want Mom to have a bendy back. But now, washing is easier and faster. Sometimes, Mom doesn't even have to leave the couch. I'm happy that Grandpa can finally have his favorite grilled bully anytime he wants.
Grandpa! Life is good.
It's bully.
I remember when Dad used to race to the fridge for a drink. I was always scared that one day his head might freeze from thinking too hard about what to choose. Mom! Dad's head is frozen again! Thank God, Dad's new fridge is cool. I'm happy for my family. Our life is,
Life's good, son. Life is good.
Blackjack! 3 times in a row. Nothing for you, my manchi.
If it's sure for you, run am again.
Make we bet.
Win big on Betano Casino. Register today and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira plus 100 free spins. Make we bet. Betano.
Welcome back. US President Donald Trump says he's not happy with the UK after Keir Starmer said it would not be drawn into a wider war over Iran. Well, here's Simon Pusey with more on this and other international news in Around the World in 5 from our London studio.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
They want to negotiate. They want to negotiate badly. I don't think they're ready.
Donald Trump says it would be very bad for the future of NATO if allies don't help secure the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for global oil shipping.
But I think they will be ready at some point. But
US President said he expects China to help unblock the strait and could delay a summit with Chinese leader Xi Jinping if it doesn't. Aboard Air Force One, Trump also says he is speaking to about 7 countries about policing the strait, adding that he will remember if they do not help. Meanwhile, Israel said it has begun limited and targeted ground operations against Iran-backed Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Heavy bombing has been reported in Tehran, while Iran and Hezbollah have launched missiles at Israel.
We are talking to other countries about working with us on the policing of the strait. And I think we're getting good response. If we do, that's great. And if we don't, that's great too. But remember, like as an example, in many cases, the NATO countries, we're always there for NATO. We're helping them with Ukraine. As many, it's got an ocean in between us. Doesn't affect us, but we've helped them. It'd be interesting to see what country wouldn't help us with a very small endeavor.
The United Arab Emirates' biggest port and oil storage facility and Dubai's international airport have both come under further drone attacks as Iran continues to target Gulf transport and oil infrastructure. Flights were temporarily suspended after a fire broke out near the airport after a drone-related incident. A fire also raged after a drone attack on a strategically important port and industrial zone at Fujairah, one of the largest oil storage facilities in the region. A Swedish court has ordered the detention of the Russian captain of a ship suspected of sailing under a false flag as part of Moscow's shadow fleet. The man, who has not been named, appeared in court after being arrested on Friday by the Swedish prosecution authority on suspicion of using forged documents. Members of the Coast Guard bombed the Sea Owl 1 in Swedish waters, where it was sailing under a Comoran flag that they thought may have been bogus. The tanker is on a list of vessels sanctioned by the EU. 10 people have been killed after a fire broke out in a trauma centre of a government hospital in eastern Indian state of Odisha. All the victims were patients, while 11 hospital staff being treated for burns suffered while trying to rescue patients. The fire, suspected to be caused by an electrical short circuit, started in the trauma care ICU of SCB Medical College and Hospital in Katuk City on Monday morning. Hospital fires are often reported in India, with many of the blazes being attributed to electrical faults. The Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine has said he left the country after January's disputed election because he feared for his life. The pop star turned politician earlier announced he had fled the country in a video posted on X. In it, he repeated his claim that the election had been rigged in favour of Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, who had been in power since 1986. Wine says Museveni had tried many times to have him killed. A further 4 people have died in Kenya after heavy rain caused widespread flooding, taking the number to have died in the past week to at least 66. The capital, Nairobi, was hit by more heavy rain overnight, though no new deaths were reported. 11 people were rescued after a minibus taxi, known locally as a matatu, got stuck as water rose in Nairobi. Heavy rainfall over the past week has triggered flash floods as rivers have burst their banks, flooded homes and damaged roads, power and water lines. Gazans have been urged to take shelter as a sandstorm swept across the enclave. Most of the more 2 million Palestinians living in the enclave are displaced, living in tents or buildings heavily damaged by the war with Israel. First responders operating under the Hamas-run Interior Ministry warned people to secure their tents to prevent them from being blown away. Sandstorms also present particular health risks to those with respiratory and cardiovascular diseases.
The Oscar goes to One Battle After Another.
And Hollywood's best and brightest have been honoured with the most coveted awards in the movie industry, the Oscars. One Battle After Another led the way with 6 wins.
Jessie Buckley.
While Hamlet's Jessie Buckley and Sinner's Michael B. Jordan scooped the top acting honours. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel's studios in Lagos.
Thank you, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Chess Masters, organised by Key Academy in partnership with Eco Hotels and Suites, returns for the second successive year with an increased number of participating schools. According to the organizers, the second edition of the Chess Masters reaffirms its continued commitment to rewarding young talent and encouraging intellectual growth among the next generation of leaders.
Following the successful debut in 2025, Chess Masters will be returning this year with over 700 students from 150 schools in Lagos, slugging it out for a total prize money of 10 million naira. With preparations in top gear for this year's edition, the organizers, Key Academy, in partnership with Eco Hotels and Suites, invite the media to unveil their plans.
And we are so thankful because we can only...
Founder of Key Academy, Damilola Okonkwo, is thrilled with the success achieved last year, and this has encouraged her to do even more.
Chess Masters 2025 was an absolutely fantastic tournament. It was an idea that was brought together by Klee and I. We have two young boys who absolutely love chess. And a year ago when we thought about this, we didn't think it would be as big and as successful as Chess Masters 2025 was. So as you can imagine, over the last year, we have put a lot of work and effort into ensuring that this tournament is bigger and better and a lot more inclusive as well.
The management, Eco Hotels and Suites, are proud to be the hosts for the second consecutive year, as the competition opens opportunities for thousands of students.
When the idea came to our table, we jumped on it. One aspect of the chess game that we tend sometimes to forget, it's not only that it helps the children to think critically, strategically, etc., but also it helps them to be patient.
It's so pleasant and so nice when you see them, competing in a nice competing way, with other colleagues of them, other friends that enjoy playing chess or playing other games, and we are very glad to perpetuate and to propagate this culture within the young people in the schools in Lagos and all around Nigeria.
The success of the Chess Masters last year has attracted a major sponsor, First Bank, who are proud to come on board.
This competition holds great promise in building the mental and strategic thinking capacities of young minds. School-age children can now challenge themselves, think critically, and compete at the highest levels. We are delighted to be a part of this celebration of the young grandmasters in waiting, ready to take over the world with their brains. This is the launch pad for a bold new mission.
The 2026 Chess Masters is scheduled for May the 2nd at the Eco Hotels and Suites, and registration has already begun for the first 150 schools to register, according to the organizers.
Chelsea have been fined $14.27 million and received a suspended one-year transfer ban in relation to historical breaches of Premier League rules. The Premier League said the London club have also been hit with an immediate 9-month academy transfer ban. The sanctions relate to information shared with the league by the consortium led by American businessman Todd Boehly following their takeover of Chelsea from Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich in 2022. The Premier League found that between 2011 and 2018, undisclosed payment by third parties associated with Chelsea were made to players, unregistered agents and others. The Blues have also been charged by the Football Association with 74 alleged breaches of the English governing body's rule. That sports is back to you, Ayo.
And the main news again. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Taiwo Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance, expressing strong confidence in his capacity to make meaningful contributions to the nation's economy. All is now set for President Bola Tinubu and his wife Oluremi as they depart for London on Tuesday to commence a 2-day state visit to the United Kingdom. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun from everyone here to have a good night.